Welcome to the Sleepover Retro Countdown Show, where nostalgia competes for the top spot, brought to you by Sleepover Trading Company, reminding you to be kind, rewind your childhood.
Each episode, your hosts Rob and Guido each bring 5 picks from deep in the analog archives. We're bringing movies, comics, toys, songs, commercials, whatever, and we are battling it out to build the ultimate top 10 list.
That's right. So grab your Jeffrey dollars because
Oh my gosh. Now I want to go on eBay and buy Jeffrey dollars. Thank you for that. I forgot about Jeffrey dollars.
Well, with inflation, what are they worth today? Who knows?
I wonder if the new Toys R Us that have been reopening are willing to accept them.
If you bring them into like one in the Macy's, it's like, please give me this Bratz doll for 10 Jeffrey dollars. Well, we are heading to the toy store today, Guido. So join us for another round of the Sleepover Retro Countdown Show.
As on this episode, we are counting down the top 10 action figure playsets.
But what is a playset, or what are our rules?
Today's rules are pretty simple. A playset is a larger item that action figures can play in or with or on, but it's not a vehicle. So just to be clear.
It could even have wheels, but I don't think like motion is its primary thing.
Right, function. And rule number 2, action figures are any toy meant to be played with. So we're not going to classify dolls versus action figures versus collectibles. It's whatever.
A troll. Perhaps. Would a troll be an action figure? Sure.
I don't think we have a troll playset on our top 10 list. No. But
I had battle trolls, and they might have had a playset. I don't
know if they were popular enough, but someone can let us know in the comments if there are any troll playsets that we're missing, because they should be on this list if there are.
Yes. So why don't you kick us off, since you were the one with our rules?
So we are competing for the 9 and 10 spots on our countdown, and I am bringing a personal favorite that doesn't belong on this list, but it's a personal favorite, and that is the She-Ra Princess of Power Crystal Castle.
Yes, I know it well because it's sitting in our store.
Well, because we have multiple editions of it, and that's because I am slowly trying to complete mine, which is why it had to make it to this list, even though it's not a good playset. But let me tell you, it's from Mattel. It's from 1984. It has rooms. Ooh. It has a fur rug, which I'll tell you now, 40 years later, is really hard to find. No one saved that fur rug. It has a canopy bed. You don't get more action than that.
No. Well, someone was getting action in that canopy bed.
And it has an elevator throne. So this is a ridiculous
Elevators
feature.
were very big in a lot of these toys.
It's ridiculous.
Very impressive.
It's a throne. It makes no sense. You then get to pull the person up. It is ridiculous. It's not great, but I love it. I was going to choose Gem's Rockin' Stage, but I'll tell you, I had to choose this because this is what I'm collecting. It's what I love. I do like the design on the outside. I like that it is a castle sitting in clouds. I like how pink it is. I like all of that.
Well, the outside, that's the key word that you said, because once you open it up, it's just plain. Like there's no
it's ridiculous.
Detail. They could have put something.
There's a fireplace.
Put a sticker.
There's a fireplace.
Exactly. They could have put some stickers on the wall or something, but it's basically like you only just see the crevices from the cool outside on the inside.
It is not the greatest playset, but I love it. It's important, and it is my number 5 choice. So tell me, how are you competing with the Crystal Castle?
Okay, well, I'm competing with the only playset on my list that I did not actually have.
Oh.
And yes, so this is the Technodrome from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from 1990.
I had this.
I don't know how I didn't have this, because 1, I loved villains. 2, I loved Turtles. And I had, and as you still know, because I still have most of them, a pretty big Turtles collection. And I had some vehicles. I don't know how I never had the Technodrome.
I wonder if it was hard to get by the time, because you're a little younger. Maybe it hadn't, it would have been a little retro even at that point. Maybe it was in an early wave. I don't know.
Yeah, that could be.
But
Of
tell me
course,
why it's on this list. What
well,
are
of
the
course,
features that sell it to you?
number one, of course, I loved the rotating eye on the top. It's very like Illuminati, back of the dollar bill, and like just a weird feature in general. And of course, I knew it from the TV show, but I don't think it ever really, or maybe if it did, it only did in one episode, like roll off and be used as a weapon on the TV show. But I know that was like such a huge feature of the playset itself. Did you use that?
Yeah, I remember this one, a good number of these playsets, but this one had a lot of pieces that would break off and you'd lose them. And so I want to say that the eye was gone for me pretty early on and didn't come
Yeah.
back.
It seems like that. And the one thing I'll say about it, and of course, so I do want it now. It's not like it's hard to find. I just haven't wanted to commit spending the money because I have nowhere to put it. The one thing that's a bit of an issue with this one is the scale. It's
Yeah, I
not
this is
quite big
why I didn't
enough.
love this. I agree. It didn't make sense to me that it was so off. Like you couldn't really fit the characters in it and
Yeah.
have any
And now
fun.
one of my other ones down the line on our list, like, is great with scale. And when you compare that one with this one, it's like if you put Bebop next to it, like he's half the size of the
Yeah.
Technodrome, which
Well, because it
just
was just
doesn't
a
make
two-layer
sense.
thing, but yeah, it should have been a lot bigger, and it's silly that it wasn't.
Yeah,
So
so I mean, I know that they've redone it and it looks cool and it looks very accurate to the original. If they do another version, I'd love them to go like
go big.
USS Flag style. Like,
Yeah.
let's have a big boy that is like, almost at least to scale or close to scale. That would be cool.
Well, I'm forfeit this round, even though the Technodrome wasn't to scale. The Crystal Castle doesn't belong on this list,
Agreed.
so the Crystal Castle can be our number 10 pick. The Technodrome can be our number 9 pick. So moving right along, tell us what you've got up for our next battle.
Okay, this is an obscure one and one you certainly did not have, but this is the Star Wars Micro Machines Royal Guard playset from 1996.
So 96, that's prequels, right?
Prequels. Now,
Oh,
I don't
interesting.
remember when the special editions were coming out, but this might have been around the time when the special editions were rolling out and Star Wars was becoming more available than it had in many years.
All right.
And one things I loved about this, so I always loved like these real weird obscure villains. I loved the Crimson Guard in GI Joe. They had a Crimson Guard that was like the elite forces, and then there's the Imperial Guard who also wears red in Star Wars. Maybe that's where GI Joe got it from. And I like these characters who's only in Return of the Jedi. They don't have a big part, but I love that it's in their head. And then there's a lot of pieces. Like you got a big bang for your buck with this one because you got
Yeah.
Vader, you got Luke, you got two Royal Guards, you got an Imperial officer, you got the Imperial shuttle, and then you got the Emperor who's like in his chair. So it's all in there. There's a spinning reactor that you can like move that's like this yellow green neon top there. I wasn't a huge Micro Machines person,
Oh, I
but I
love
was a
Micro
big Star
Machines.
Wars person, and
Well,
and I love that there's so much there.
some of what I think Micro Machines had the advantage of is everything being shrunk down meant it could have more detail. So it's like
Yes.
Polly Pocket or Mighty Max. Like those are good examples like this, where you can just fit so much into something so small and the scale doesn't feel off, like you were mentioning with the Technodrome. So I think
Yes.
it is cool. I did not have this. I'm not even familiar with it,
Well,
but
and I was a huge
looking at it is cool.
And people like look down on Return of the Jedi. It was my, I don't know if I would call it today. I'd have to go back, but it was my favorite of the Star Wars movies. And in big part because I just loved the Emperor. I loved the throne room. I loved like the window looking out on the Death Star. So to be able to have this, I don't know if there was a more accurate or bigger version of that Emperor's throne room playset, but to have it here in this form was pretty cool.
Yeah.
What's competing with the Emperor and the Imperial throne
All
room?
right, I'm going back to the turtles, and I
Uh-huh.
am going to bring up the sewer playset, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles sewer playset from 1989 Playmates. And this is also not a great playset, But
Yes.
it's on this list because it's a cool idea. It's just a place to hang out. That's what's kind of
Hmm.
fun. This is not a place where anyone would battle or where there were a lot of weapons. Now, it's 2 levels, so you could do battle on the street and then keep the HQ down in the sewer. And of course, there's the manhole cover and there's the fire hydrant, which actually goes under, and it's the periscope, and there's all of the telephone wire towers, and there's the pipes that you can go through, and it has an elevator, of course, because every playset on my list has an elevator. But it was just so fun to me that like I could have the place where they hang out. And I
Yeah.
liked this. Again, doesn't do a whole lot. Doesn't look great. The scale is also a little off. So it's, I think, a Turtles issue. Playmates must have been really trying to cut some corners and save some money. So,
Well, turtles were pretty big, so I get that they couldn't make something that much bigger than them.
though, like He-Man playsets are to scale
That's
in a
true.
way that Turtles are not. So it's possible. Now, of course, yeah. Anyway, we'll get into more He-Man playsets. So did you have the sewer playset?
No, I really don't think I had any turtles play sets. I had several turtles vehicles, but
Well,
no, I
those are
don't think
for
I ever
another
had the
episode.
playset. Exactly. I do
Well,
like the idea that the turtles could actually be crawling through it, and then it seems semi functional in that way.
yeah. So it's fun. It's like almost like a smaller version of a Barbie dream home, and that's what I
Uh-huh.
really liked about it. So I wish it had been bigger, of course, and had more features and levels, but it's getting you a little closer. So
Yeah.
who's winning this round?
Ooh. Um, I
Tough
guess
one.
I'd give it to turtles.
Okay, I'll take it.
Just because I have such a affinity for the turtles. The other thing I'll say too that is looking at it here, both the sewer playset and the Technodrome have pretty cool box art too. It's nothing crazy and out of the ordinary, but they both look just great and classic. It actually make the toy look a lot more fun than they actually are.
I do think the box art was a huge part of the sale for most of these toys, without a doubt. All right, so our number 8 pick is the Micro Machines Star Wars Royal Guard, and our number 7 is the Teenage Mutant Turtles Sewer playset. Moving on to our number 6 and number 5 spots. I am bringing some of the big guns now. We are
Okay.
building. We're building here. So my number 3 pick, competing for this spot, is the Masters of the Universe Snake Mountain playset. I
Hmm.
have to give the Slime Pit an honorable mention. I really struggled with which one to go for, but Snake Mountain has the features that every playset should have. And not only that, so this is the 1984 Mattel playset for Skeletor and the evil masters. It is so cool in its design. It's the design of this one really gets me. So not only does it have like a bridge that actually connects the two sides that you set up, but it has that great face of the mountain and the mouth
Yes.
can move. It has trapdoors. Trapdoors were great features of playsets, and a few of them have here. It's purple, it's creepy, it's really articulated. But of course, everyone knows the most famous feature here, which is you talk into the like jackal or whatever it is head, and it's electronic and it modifies your voice to become scary and sound
Yeah.
creepy. And
Now
that was
how
just the
I've
coolest thing in the world to me.
Yeah, and I've seen, of course, many videos of it on the classic commercial from this. How well did that actually work?
It worked moderately well. It worked well in the sense that, like, when you would talk into it, it would sound like. I think it was just because it was such a bad quality microphone, though, that it ended up
It's not even a
sounding like you were
microphone,
a
right? I
demon.
mean, it's not like was it
It
electronic
is.
or
It
was
is
it just
electronic.
oh,
It
it is
needed batteries.
electronic.
Yeah, yeah. That's what's so
Okay.
cool about it. So you'd put
I thought
batteries
maybe
in.
it was
There
just
was a
like
little speaker,
okay.
and then when you spoke into it, it would do all of that. So it's cool. It did modulate your voice. It didn't transform it that much, but it did modulate it, and it was just very cool and an interesting early use of electronic in these playsets. So
And
I'm
the
a
other
big fan.
interesting
You
thing
didn't have a
about
Snake
this play,
Mountain.
no, I never had a Snake Mountain. I didn't really have much from the original Motu line because I was a more next generation, or what's
New
it called? New
Adventures.
Adventures. So Captain Picard and the New Adventures of He-Man. But one thing that's interesting though about this one is a lot of these features are not actually on how it's depicted in the cartoon, right? Like there's not that creepy face. There's no actual snake in Snake Mountain.
Well, there is. The whole mountain is a snake in the
The whole
cartoon.
mountain, but
The
it doesn't have
whole,
like
so it
this one
coils
actually has an
around.
actual snake in
Yeah,
it.
this one is a yes, for sure. Similar to the Crystal Castle, they neither of these are direct depictions from the cartoon. Castle Grayskull gets a little closer,
Yeah,
but
that one is more. Yeah.
and it's funny enough not on my list, but this one this one is.
Well, this
So
one looks, I think, also as a nice statement piece that you could put out on your home, which is what most people now would be doing with these play sets, as opposed to Castle Grayskull and I think certainly the Crystal Castle. Like this one would look cool just sitting out on your shelf.
yeah, agreed. So that's my pick. What are you competing with it with?
Well, I don't think it's really competing because this one's a deep cut and a strange one. But this is Todd McFarlane's Phantom of the Opera playset from McFarlane in 1998. And
I think
it
probably
does
100 people knew this existed before hearing
100
you say
people.
that.
It does say playset right on
It does.
the
I have to
cardboard.
say, I'd never had this. I never touched it. But looking at a picture, I wouldn't call it a playset, but they call it a playset. So great.
They call it a playset. I'll say it's mostly two figures with a stand. But okay, so here's what's so cool about it. So I was a huge into Phantom of the Opera because of the Andrew Lloyd Webber musical, but I watched all the movies, and this one just has all the basic elements. So you've got a big organ. You have like the opera box with an actual fabric curtain, like your rug in the Crystal Castle. So that just makes it cool. And then there's this beam that goes over the opera box with a chandelier. And if you press down on kind of a little button on top of the chandelier falls, which is of course a really famous
that is
moment
very cool.
in the musical. Comes with two figures, the Phantom, and I guess who's supposed to be Raoul. I don't even know if he's named. They both have masks and they both have swords, which is cool. I don't know if the Phantom is ever using a sword, and certainly not the
In
musical.
Todd
But
McFarlane's world, they are.
they are, yeah. And Raoul has like a big like goat mask. It almost looks like Skeletor's Havoc staff, but he wears it on his head. Why? Who knows? But it does look cool. And the Phantom himself, very gray, very kind of almost zombie-like face. So yes, there's not much of a play set here, but I love that it does have this very accurate action like of the chandelier falling.
Yeah,
and
if
like
not for the
actual
chandelier,
fabric.
if not for the chandelier, it would just be a base. It would just be a stand.
Yes.
But the chandelier, I guess, is why they got to call it a playset and can get away with it.
And this is
So-
one I would 100% go and buy now because it is a bit more manageable to have out on your shelf. And there's also just say what you want about like some of the stuff that they've done, but like the McFarlane, like there are some really cool pieces there. And I think like this one, the Phantom
very well
especially just
molded,
looks
for sure.
really well.
Yeah. So we've got two kind of skull-faced characters
That's
competing
true.
in this round, but I don't know. There's nothing electronic about the Phantom of the Opera playset.
There's
so-
nothing. And being that it's barely a playset,
Yeah,
and I want
I
to
think it's
save
gonna
my
have to be
goodwill
our-
for my top two.
Oh,
I'm
we're going to be battling it out forever. So our number 6 is Phantom of the Opera playset, and our number 5 is
Todd
Motu
McFarlane's Phantom of the
Snake
Opera
Mountain.
playset.
Yes. In case someone's
That
gonna
is the
get
actual
confused with
full-
the other one.
No,
I
exactly.
don't think there was another one. All right, we are down to our top spots. Tell us what it is that you are bringing to our next battle.
Okay, well, you mentioned this line briefly before, but this is Trapped in Skull Mountain from Mighty Max 1992. Not Snake Mountain. This is Skull Mountain. So this is a big. So of course, obviously, we all know Mighty Max. Each Mighty Max was kind of a playset onto itself, but tiny. This one is huge. So it was, a couple feet tall, opens up, and then it came with a plethora of various
Is
figures,
that what
which
the
was
box
really
said?
cool.
Comes with plethora of figures.
Exactly. The Skull Master, who was another skull based villain, who was the main villain in Mighty Max. I don't even remember the Mighty Max lore, but also came with Warmonger, his assistant, the Rock Monster, and had a double headed dragon and other smaller minions. And then what was really cool was like if you looked at it from the outside, the mountain had some glowing eyes, and those were fireballs actually that you could launch out of it. It has this teeth and tongue at the opening, which actually opens up to be the bridge, and then inside it has all this kind of Rube Goldberg mousetrap kind of like components to it, which were great because you could obviously actually trap Mighty Max, who also came. There was a Mighty Max that came with it as well as part of it. So it's
But did
very
it
cool
work?
because there's lots of moving parts.
But did it work?
Yes, yeah. I remember it working. I
Because
remember.
sometimes
Yeah,
those like Rube Goldberg aspects didn't actually work. You thought they were going to, but the missile just sort of fell out, and
I think I
was
think I
it
remember
firing.
it working. There's a little. I think there's also, again, going back to it, like kind of an elevator. There's a little perch at the top that goes pretty far up. Anyway, it's really cool. But it's one of those cool ones because sometimes I think with some of these, like the Technodrome with the Crystal Castle, looks cool on the outside. You open it up, kind of plain. Here, I think it looks really cool on the outside, and when you open it up, there's all these little gizmos inside, so that keeps the interest going.
Fun. All right. I did not
And
have this.
you had never
I'm
had this.
not
You weren't a
familiar
Mighty
with it.
Max
No. I
person.
had a few Mighty Max, I think, but yeah, it was not my thing. I don't know why, or if it
I
was
think
hard
if
to
I got,
find, or it was a little late for me, maybe.
I could see myself collecting Mighty Maxes because they're cool in that, like, you could keep them closed on
Yeah,
out,
and their
or you
little
could keep them like
displays.
open.
Yeah, I agree. All right. But I have one of two grails coming. So
Okay.
my number two choice is something I did not have, and it is the Thundercats Cat's Lair. And now, while that name doesn't do anything to sell you on it, this is from 1986 from LJN, and it is so cool. I couldn't get this. It was too expensive. I was never allowed to get it. So not only is it cool looking, it's almost 2 feet tall. It has guns under the cat's paws that pop out. It's the exact layer from the cartoon, so they can go up inside it and behind it and they can fight with it. But it had a laser game with like infrared, like laser tag almost. So these certain figures would come with laser sabers and they could fire at the mouth of the layer, and the layer would record the points, and like an alarm
my
would go
gosh.
off when it got fired upon. So it was like, whoa, that is
That
probably
feels
why it
like-
was so expensive, is
Oh,
that it was
totally.
like using laser tag technology to create this game aspect of the playset. And I never had it, so I can't speak to how well it worked, but
Well,
it is so
at least
cool.
you can still see today because I'd imagine there were many children that were blinded by these lasers.
Well, no, because it's infrared. Like there wasn't
okay.
actual laser. It was like a remote control laser. But,
Okay, I
but
was
they
thinking
called
like a
it
laser pointer, which
I
would
think
be
they wanted you to
probably-
think it was that because they called it laser. Because of course, I mean, you didn't have Thundercats figures, but they all had like the little thing you put on your finger and you press it into their back and it lights up. And so then,
Okay.
like there were electronic features of a lot of Thundercats, and Lion-O, his eyes would turn red. It was very cool set and series that LJN did. But the Cat's Lair was something I always wanted and could never have, and will get one day.
No, see, I didn't get into Thundercats until middle school, even like early high school, seeing it on Toonami. Like it was not a part of my growing up whatsoever. Even He-Man, even though I didn't collect much of the original line, like I still watched some of the Filmation. I was still familiar with it. I think Thundercats was something that completely escaped me.
Yeah, maybe it didn't live on in syndication quite as much, or who knows. The toys were hard to find even then. And I think it just wasn't as mass produced either, which is part of why they're quite a bit more expensive than He-Man toys generally are now.
Now this is
So,
making it hard though, because this is here we've got two things that like I never played with yours. You didn't even have yours. You didn't play with mine. You're like neither of us are super familiar with either of these toy lines in general.
but mine sounds cooler.
Okay, well,
If mine
I'm gonna
works as
say
advertised, it it is very cool.
I think mine would work as advertised as well. But
Yeah, but
see,
yours
mine
isn't
comes with
advertised with a laser game.
no, mine does comes with figures though. But are we judging it just on the
Mine is
playset itself, or are we
figures are
judging
sold
it on the
separately.
whole package? You didn't have to spend
Oh,
the extra money.
this is
So I don't
tough.
know.
I have a feeling it's not going to be as tough as our number one spot. So I'll give
Well,
it
I
to
think
Trapped in Skull Mountain because I didn't have the Cat's Lair. So
okay, yes, okay.
our number 4 pick is the Thundercats Cat's Lair. Our number 3 pick is Skull Mountain from the Mighty Max series. And here we are in our top spot. And I'm going to have to win because I have the holy grail of almost any action figure collector, which is the Masters of the Universe 1986 from Mattel Eternia. I did not have Eternia. I can't believe that I don't yet have an Eternia, but I will one day soon because this beast is legendary. We have seen them in stores. You and I have gotten the chance to see actual original, not
Yes.
the re-release, original ones, but never owned it. And it is 3 towers connected by a monorail, a working monorail system. There are trapdoors, because everything needed trapdoors, and all sorts of things that go into it. No electronic, no gimmicky feature. I think the gimmick is the design. The gimmick is the fact that it's not just a playset, it's an entire kingdom, right? It's 3 different pieces. You can have 20 figures engaging this playset and not run out of room. So the design is the thing, and it is perfect. It's so
Now-
highly breakable, which is part of why it's so
Yes.
expensive, but that's okay. I'm willing to forgive that. It's perfect.
Well, I'm starting the argument now for mine without even saying it, which is one you've already said one of the things I was going to say. Like, is it a good play set if it's a play set? Remember, emphasis on the play. If it's breakable, if you can't even actually play with it. And the other thing I'll say here is the monorail, very cool, definitely. But it feels like it's more multiple things that you play around rather than like you're actually interacting and standing on and crawling through.
Yes.
So
That's
it's cool,
correct.
but
And it's still
even
the
if you go
coolest
back to
playset
your
design there
turtles
is.
example, like you're actually like crawling through the item.
The other wild thing is that it's the design of it is also very unusual and not particularly directly from lifted from the cartoon. But there's like the Grayskull Tower, there's the Snake Tower, and then there's the central big tower. So it's just cool that they incorporated different elements of the lore and the mythology into it. So,
But what
I
if
love
you
this.
also had a gray skull and a snake mountain? Then you had like double.
Well, and
Like,
we've
how
seen
would
people
your
like on Collector's Call, a fantastic TV show, who have Eternia set up and then they put like Grayskull over in one side and Snake Mountain in the other and Eternia kind of in the middle. I do not understand why it's not the Palace Eternia, but again, it's so cool. Okay, what's yours?
Okay, well, I'm also bringing one of the big guns. It is, though, something that I actually owned, so I think that gives a little step up.
I don't
It
know if
is,
it does, but all right.
well, I did have it even years after it came out because this is not the Technodrome. This is the Terrordrome from G.I.
I always
Joe.
found so confusing. I still mix them up all the time. I wonder who
It is,
copied
yes.
who. Well, what
Oh,
year
the
is this one
Terrordrome is
from?
out earlier. This is 1986.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
this is earlier. And this is a big, massive playset. So G.I. Joe were known for some big boys. They had the USS Flag, which is notoriously one of the biggest playsets slash
It's
vehicles.
probably the other
of
Grail with Eternia, I'd say, out
Oh,
there
totally.
in action figure collecting
Well, and to get
land.
it in all the pieces, I would imagine is a lifetime of searching. But this is a pretty big one as well. It came, it's a big playset because it came with its own vehicle in addition to the playset. So it came with the Fire Bat, which was a jet that actually launched out of the top. So there's a dome at the top with the Cobra symbol on it, and you could push up that with a lever and the dome would open up and there would be the Fire Bat in it. And then the Fire Bat came with the AVAC pilot figure as well. So it
Okay,
came with
but
a
did
figure.
it work?
Yes, it worked. Yeah, you would push up, so the bottom pieces would fold down, and one of them had a lever there, but there was also a hidden prison cell that you could put your captured Joes in. So what was cool about this is that you could play on the top. There's gun turrets and all that kind of thing, but then you could also fold down the sides and have more room to play. And I think one of the coolest things, going back to a reoccurring thing that we've been discussing, and one of the benefits of the Joes being 3 3/4 size, was this actually felt pretty to scale with the figures. And you could actually just have multiple figures on the top, and it was still a little bit taller than them, even with that. So I think that element of detail is great. And this was one of the things, I did not have it, of course, when it came out, but this was one of the earliest things my family probably ever got on eBay. And we got it pretty complete, maybe even complete, with the blueprints and the box. We still have it, but sadly, it's some move. My mother got rid of the box, which of course is one of the most valuable parts of it now. We even still have the blueprints, but we don't have the box. And there might be like a piece or two that's broken, but it's so massive. I don't even know what to do with it. Did you ever play with this?
No. And what is it? Like what is the Terrordrome?
This is Cobra's headquarters.
Okay.
And if you've seen
so it's
G.I.
the
Joe,
evil
the move, evil headquarters.
And I guess the flag then is the like good headquarters. I guess that's
yeah, that's like their aircraft carrier, where the Joes. Okay. I mean, the Joes had a couple of other ones too. That another big playset, which I'm forgetting the name of. But what's cool is if you go back and watch, which we've already discussed on another episode, G.I. Joe, the movie, there's a really great sequence with Pythona breaking into the Terrordrome early on in the movie. It's like the first thing after the credit sequence. And it's a great showcase for the headquarters.
All right.
So
very cool. I guess the Terrordrome is going to win for now. I don't think it wins forever, but I'm willing to say that yes, because we do not have Eternia, and I didn't play with Eternia. The Terrordrome, you have some practical experience with. I'm willing to say it can be our number one winner.
Yay. Well, I'll give you this.
Lineup.
If we weren't thinking these as play sets, again, with like the emphasis on play and everything, but almost thinking them as works of art that you're putting out for people to see, then I would totally give it to Eternia, because I think it 100% qualifies on that level. But if you're actually thinking of play sets that were interactive and everything else involved, then that's why the Terrordrome has to win.
It does. So, all right, we've got our top 10. Number 10, She-Ra's Crystal Castle. Number 9, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Technodrome. Number 8, the Micro Machines Star Wars Royal Guard. Number 7, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Sewer Playset. Number 6, Todd McFarlane's Phantom of the Opera playset. Number 5, He-Man Masters of the Universe Snake Mountain. Number 4, Thundercats Cat's Lair. Number 3, Skull Mountain from Mighty Max. Number 2, Masters of the Universe Eternia. And our number 1 playset is the G.I. Joe Terrordrome.
Woohoo! I'm ready to play. Bust out the toys.
I know. Well, now I'm like, we need to set up the Terrordrome. If it's that good, why is it in a garbage bag in the attic? I'm unclear.
That's true.
So I think it's...
I'm wondering where we even kept all these things. Like maybe that I didn't have too many play sets. I guess you needed a lot of room to have play sets. Maybe that's why I didn't have as many as I thought. Well, and that's a wrap on another round of the Sleepover Retro Countdown Show, brought to you by Sleepover Trading Company, which is now open inside the historic Community Theater in Catskill, New York. Follow us online at Sleepover Trading and at sleepovertrading.com.
Come visit the new shop or follow us online to relive the days when you'd wake up and play with a complex playset, find the broken pieces, glue them back together, and that was our childhood.
Or you were very smart and never took them out of the sealed box.
Oh, gosh. That's a smart and sad kid.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
Be kind. Rewind your childhood.